each one of us has gifts. Each one of us has talent. What do you do that doesn't get you tired, even if it's midnight? Have you discovered it? Let me tell you, if you discover that which you do without ceasing, there is your job. There is your enterprise. There is your business. What tools drive wholesome community recovery? Leaders should know how much distance ahead of their people they are walking, because leadership is as strategic as followership. A peasant is the one who goes and gets some leaves and makes medicine for himself. A peasant has no extra income. He grows food for his stomach. So imagine 96% in 1969 were in that category. Please remember that even up to 2013, we had about 68% still in that category. And the major cause of this problem is what we said, the 20 years of civil war and even growth in our country. So those four societies that I mentioned, they gave us the following consequences. If we understand these consequences, then we can start to heal. First is that it gave some of us a martial sentiment. Who knows what a martial sentiment means? A martial sentiment is that feeling of, I am the only one who can fight. I resolve all disagreements by fighting. Because the rifle is what I have. But anybody can pick a rifle and fight as long as they have a cause. Plus, by feeling that I am the only one who can fight, I disable others who would give me support in fighting. So this sentiment sometimes manifests itself in civil wars and disagreements. The second consequence was less attention on economy at a household level. So many of you might know coffee was not introduced here. It was cotton. But do we grow cotton, still grow cotton in parts of Acholiland? That's gone, eh? But they told us that there is a cash crop and food crop. So if you compare the prices of cotton, a 60 kilogram bag 60 years ago would give you more money than a kilo or a ton of cotton. Yet it's a fight, it's a struggle to get both cotton and coffee out of the ground. What was the purpose by Lugard and his people doing that? Keep the north as a source of army labor. Because you need to recruit the army, you should have production in one part and in another just have soldiers. Was that you who did that? Did you participate in that decision? So if you don't know what the cause is, you dance to a false tune. When you say that there is a cash and a food crop, you are putting a mental lock on what you can do with all your abilities, the guitars I mentioned. I just want to know, are you following me? The beginning of change is honesty and knowledge. Would northern Uganda and Acholi not grow coffee? Would it not do tourism? Would it not grow maize or simsim? It can, because it has even better land for mechanization. It also gets the full sun than many parts of Africa. Why do you keep it in the wasteland of production? Because you needed to use it for something else as a tool. So when you have leaders who are either leading from behind, or they are too confused by being next, they carry the culture, or they don't look ahead to find solutions, they reinforce what Lugard locked on our senses. They make us think of what is wrong. The Bible says, "Who unto you who call good bad and bad good?" We can't lead unless we know the facts and resolve these mental troubles. The third consequence that came out of that four societies that I mentioned was introduction of politics of religion and tribe. Because in the run-up to handing over to independence, you needed to recruit people by your tribe or your religion in order to win. So you can imagine recruiting someone on a tribe is not an economic interest. It's not a strategic interest for the region. It is not even an interest to say the next generation should find something good. It is only seeing your country in 5-year cycles. Just 5 years. It doesn't matter how I win, however way I want to win. Whether I use money, I want to win. Whether I use religion in the night, I want to win. Whether I stoke tribal anger, I want to win. However way I want to win, I will do whatever it takes. Now, if you introduce that in already a fractious society, what happens? You destroy. This is my number 4 of the consequences. You destroy a national collective ethos. What's a national collective ethos? That we are only as strong as we are united. We are only as good to the extent of the badness in us. And we cannot overcome badness or evil unless we are united under national ethos. So I find these two things interesting. Bunyoro appeal to Ankole, Toro,
Itoro.
and several chiefs in northern Uganda.
Kidong ruodi mapoli kumalame Uganda.
When we had a governor called Wilson,
Karma oberu ki la lochmo governor Makiluani Wilson.
from 1902 to around 1910.
Mwali bachel ka bungwen ka Rio na ali bachel mi bungwen kapa.
Bunyoro said, we have seen the sinister move of people to divide us.
Waneno kita dan lutelo biono kwere me poko bwanoko.
Can we not unite and chase away Governor Wilson now that we know these people don't mean well for us?
Kit madong wano ni ang ni Johnny enini. Peno tam kibeje kumwane no po twero ripe meria mugioko.
They asked for a collective effort, no one listened.
Go wacho Joano ripe bunoba ngatu winyi no berupe.
In 1953, when Kabaka Mutesa was exiled,
Pierre bichu ya de karama kabaka mutecha ki riema wako.
people from Acholi,
Dano mo aki Acholi.
Lango,
Ilao.
West Nile,
West Nile kaeni.
Ankole,
Kuja.
Kabale,
Kabale.
they said, bring him back.
Wacho Joano duak kabaka mutecha
Bring him back.
O duak echen.
He's one of us.
Eno bera cheli kenwa.
They demonstrated.
Dano gujemo.
The Kabaka returned in November
Kabaka duguchen duma para chele.
of 1955.
Pierre bichu ya bichi.
He didn't notice that there was a national movement to bring him back for
Eni kome be
uniting
pon
us.
yang ni dano ripe obero luomba dano mo ripe o akotini duguchen.
We missed working together
Kenyo wa keng meti kachel.
to remove our differences and build a stronger
Me
country.
kwanya paka mo bere kenwa wa tichel dule chel.
Those two things, I find them intriguing. Few people drive unity.
Jema rio na no kichwe chunyu twal piani dana
A
rio.
number of others want to keep
Bukelo
us apart.
ripe eno dano mo kana maduong gimer na wabed mo wapoko.
I don't want to take a lot more time.
Peta mira techa maduong.
You know how much it took
Uno nge ngomo tero.
for even NRM and this leader to be acceptable.
Wek NRM kila tele eni wek ki ye ki jolgi.
I don't need to accept President Museveni just because he comes from somewhere.
Temir ana jol dit you weri piani en ake kamoni.
If I were a Norwegian
Kaono ana ake no way kuja.
living in Uganda
Ma kwa Uganda.
and I knew something about this country,
Doka nge gi mama keme gelobo man.
I would follow a man or woman with an idea to
Uno
unite
an
us.
ai lubu ngat mo matiki neno matiki
I-
yop mabe.
I would not follow someone because they are Norwegians.
Ano pabe lubu ngat mo piani men en ake no way kuja.
But it takes time for people to understand.
Endo teru karwek dano niyang.
It takes leadership.
Teru tela.
It takes resilience.
Teru mokutam ki chiero
It
kare.
takes teaching.
Teru fun.
And many of those traits have died.
Dok Jimmy eni weng
In
polo
us.
to koi kwa wadong.
That's why I thank the team here from CNC,
Jini
from our
waka foyo
leaders,
dano komiti kiro tela duchu.
that they can say, Odrek, you come and spend 2 hours on
Ni
this
wachi
day
Odrek la dit Odrek. Bini lok kwedwa kong ijemi mukaro.
and speak what's on your heart.
Lok ngoma ti chwinyi.
And do not use a platform of faith
Pe ti ki will abam many ye.
to speak about the soul
Me lok kom tibu.
and you forget income.
Chi will lok kom
And
kermelim.
you forget history.
Chi will come wano aki ye.
And you free people to go home,
Chi wek dano dok gang.
but you've given them Panadol.
Ene mini ki panado la kwe
Yet
rem.
they need an injection to
Kon ge
heal.
mer lo bira ye PPF wako chang pu.
By knowing where they come
Wek
from
nge kama gi aki ye.
and setting their eyes where they should
Dok
go.
ki ket neno gi kama gi mer ko cheri ye.
So here is what holds us down.
En ye don't gena diye waping.
Think of a stone,
Ke tam kong pi la piro no yamo mo.
a rock.
Nyo got.
You see the top of the rock,
Ineno we got.
but there is the chest of the rock.
Eno ko got it ye.
There is also the feet of that rock.
Tien got nyo teret ye.
And the feet and chest are larger
Ke neno ko ora ki tien ki atima large.
than what you see.
Large lo ngoma ye neno.
So let us take what you see as a rock
Chikong wan nen kong gin na inti nena chalo gori.
as public commitments that we will change.
Chalo mine pa dano ma wano tuero lakone.
The good intentions that people see.
Tam ki mabe ma dano neno ni.
The dressing nicely and talking
Ruke
nicely.
mabe ki lok mabe ma ki wano winyo ki wan neno.
The externalities.
Ki yo jim ma wako ma wano neno ni.
Those are the easiest to do for a human
E
being.
ano ber jim ma yot me keme kwere ka wano neno.
If you go to the chest of the rock,
Ke chiari ko got kume dong.
is this example understood?
La bolen waten yang wati lopone.
I could use the English word iceberg, but we don't live in Norway. We don't know an iceberg. We know a rock.
Nya twalo kom iceberg me neno we ice mo matiri ma ano poleno tite pili.
So the chest of the rock that you don't see, which is
Ko
hidden
got la
under,
bol ma ate mine ma no peti nana kama lengi.
is called the behaviors that reinforce the words I use.
Ene keme ki kit pa dano
It is
ma
what-
wano to ti kwere me kela laka mabe
It is what I do
ene ngoma ana timo
or what I don't do.
nyongo man pa timo
It disables what I said.
li eno ni ngolo ngoma na ana wajo ko
It is insisting
eno beru mokko
that I will not change this
ni
behavior,
an pa be lako kirani ene ni
yet
kun
I have said publicly I'm changing.
kun awajo kama leng ni anda be lako kirao
So behaviors,
kitwa
culture,
te kwar mamwa
they eat our words.
eno ni chamo lok mawano loko ko weng
We say them in the morning,
wajo gyo diko
they are dead at lunchtime.
ni wajo gyo diko endo di chengno gmopaka
Because our behaviors
bien kitwa
are not aligned
po keme
with what we have said.
ki ngoma no wano wajo
But the rock also has feet.
endo got kuma ba tiene be tie ya
The feet of that rock
tien got eno ni kama yo chuye
is invisible.
penen kama leng
Sometimes it's 5 kilometers underground.
chamo keno kilomita bich pin tere
You need explosives to blast
e
to go
mir no
down.
bom bom mucho ko wek eno keto ket kama
You
leng
need harshness to go down.
mir ger wek chet pin no kama tiene tie
You need to get dirty.
mir no chit kumi
You need to sweat
mir ko chwe
to get to the root
wek nen we luire kunu
the feet of a stone.
kama te got ne tie
It is called our thoughts.
eno ni kilwoni tamma mekwa
What we think
gen mawano tamu
and how we think
kit mawano tamu kwede
determines the chest of the rock.
o bu nyur kama leng kire ko got
It
kwede
determines the rock that we see outside.
o bu chimo kit got mawano ti neno ne
Change starts at the thought process.
Allah tamme ki jok ki tamme megiya
What you believe
gin ma ini ye
determines how you think,
o chimo kit ngoma inde tamu be
determines which risk you will take
o
or
bu mo
not take,
tam chimo kin yo ma ini be kwanyo
determines your level of resilience or failure,
chimo be moko tamme me nyo be bujala ko
determines informal actions the world will never
o
see.
chimo kit ngoma be kar teach malobo
So I
bunero
ask you to dig
kinera
deeper.
matin ana tamu jet matut
Starting today,
chakanir matin jet matut
question your thoughts.
chak penyo tamme megini
Question what you have believed
kong
about
de pen
yourself.
gina ngoma ana ye ni
Question the assumptions you've made about Gulu and
ke
Acholi.
ke pen kong moro gina ngoma ana neno ke gulu beru
Question the things that you've grown up thinking this is the solution.
chak penyo gina ngoma ana kwanya ni ene dong la gambe
Step
kwana ni
outside.
ke chak tam ne ngoma ti woko
Sweat.
ye kwa kuchwe
Get dirty.
ye chi kumio
Change the thinking process.
where lock kita ini tamu be
You
kweli
will change the stated intention.
chi be logo ngo e biena nyim
So let me tell you, it is hard to do, it is easy to say.
amira wechi ni tek ba me kerne teach endo yot me wajina waja
Change for leaders
alaga pelu tela ba
is taking leadership responsibly.
ene me kwanyo kit me tela kuni keme kwere
There are two examples I want to give you, and I will do a small skit and close.
la bol ti ario mamira wechi chabe nyorgi mama nok ti da
There
lor
was one pilot.
ti a pilot mona do dege mo
He was flying from Moscow
no tika tuk a ki Moscow
on 23rd of March 1993.
do ma dek pi ario we dek
He had 60 people on his plane.
no tik da pi arabi chele dege ne
Among them, there was his son
ken
and
gino ti
daughter.
wore ki nyare
He had been a good pilot.
no ber pilot mabe ada
He was taking his family for a holiday
no ti ter do gange iwe kamo
from Moscow to Hong Kong.
me a ke Moscow chere Hong Kong
When a plane gets above a particular distance,
tirwa mo maka dege karo o yeba
a pilot switches into autopilot.
a pilot nego wego don tuk pi kene
A pilot can also sleep
ka kenye be pilot don twaro ni no
because he has set the course.
piendo kero dege yone kome
So you changed your thoughts, you've set the course.
in ilago yoni yo chi ikero
Nothing
kam
should
ngam
change
mero chere
that
ye
course.
mare o kamo bang gemo ken be twaro don ngo
So
kwanyo
this
tambi
pilot, when people slept and all was okay,
kar madong dano don ni no
at 30,000 feet above sea level,
matie a fit foot ali piara dek maro kuno
he went to the cabin and picked his children.
eno chiaro kamalo tieno ti yeni
He got the young girl who was 11 years
o
old.
kwanyo nyanga matimo apara
Said,
chili
you want to know how to fly an
wa
aircraft?
imiro ngekide tuko dege bien
Come sit.
bien beri ngara donge
So the young girl, of course, the plane is in autopilot.
nene dong no dege no tika mo magi setting dong
The young
tie tuk
girl-
dong mabe piara kene kenyu
The young girl turns the,
nyanga ni
The thing is turning.
Lo enen gen kan lo ke do wero.
But the turning is false because there is autopilot.
Ento pian meno do setting o di button
She
o
says, Daddy, it's
anyare
turning.
we nen na tika tu de ga di do de dong.
Daddy,
Do la
I'm
wala
a
kan kuja.
pilot.
We an ba ti pilot kar baba.
He said, Go
Why
off.
bien in kar chere.
He brought his 16-year-old son.
Okay, lo were mati mo apara bi
He
chele.
said, Daddy, I also want to try.
Why baba an ba mero temo ne kran.
He tries the aircraft.
En beno temo.
But the boy's legs are long.
Ento tiena wo no bo nyono no kama mero ki nyono.
He says he presses accidentally the autopilot.
Chi o diu button no gano mero poti.
The main pilot does not know that the autopilot is out.
Pilot come mano di na ne bi arare ne chon punge ni wo di gano mero poti yoni.
The plane turns.
Dego to lock chor jona.
It turns real turning.
O loka madano ngeno.
Suddenly the plane
Atura
shoots
shot.
up.
Dego tu cher malo.
It throws everyone in the cabin cups. People
Dano
are
wen mano
shouting.
voro kuja neno dange shot.
The real pilot is confused.
Pilot come we nyana.
He tries to touch
O chako
every
guru jemi
button,
kan kuja dong.
but it's only 2 minutes
Dake kariye kan.
above a mountain called Kuznek
O we got magalwani kuzne.
in southern Russia.
Matie ko pin me Russia.
The plane crashes in the mountain.
Dege ne oporo iwi godi kono.
I'm telling you the story from the black box.
Awachini ngeno ti record ma kamo maka accident ti me ki choy penyi dege.
These sounds were picked from the black box.
Jemi eneni ma anti wachini kino ki kamo ma record me dege ni no du choy penyi katika tok.
When a leader has taken people up,
Ka la telo ter dano maro.
they have given him responsibility.
No ki mi ni dong dok tichia.
They have entrusted their lives in your
No ki
hands.
mi ko pa dani chi in la tele.
They have not given you responsibility
Peki mi twer ni eneni.
to play with it,
Metoko ki ko pa dano.
to please everyone,
Ni yom chin dano weng.
to make girlfriends in the church,
Ni kelu ti anyera wen
To
be
steal
ti anyera
district
me
money.
nyena kwere kanicha.
to shout, oh yeah, but inside you have
Me
hatred.
dangane yo ko mer ende ko ni kuja no iwa gina pat.
Leadership
Tela
is deep responsibility.
o be dok ti ma dita de da.
Men of God, I ask you to take leadership responsibly.
Do teach palo ba o te tela chala gina pia.
Don't take it if you are not ready.
Ka peti atera pe doni tela.
Don't take it to please people.
Pe te tela me yom chin dano.
Take it because there's a calling on your life.
Kre tela piano be luo kom ko ni.
Take it because there's a burden on your
Kwan tela
heart.
pian te ne tie.
The burden to change something in your
Te me
generation.
la ko gema ye luak ma megi.
The burden to leave your society better than you
Te
found
me
it.
la ko kama ti ye no be ma be ma karon kire no
The
ko.
burden to cure the disease that people have played with for a long time.
Te me chao tuo ma dano to ko be kar malach.
Are we together?
Watika chel.
Thank you very much. God
Before you
bless you.
try le ba mi yogo.
Gifts. Each one of us has gifts. Each one of us has talent. What do you do that doesn't get you tired, even if it's midnight? Have you discovered it? Let me tell you, if you discover that which you do without ceasing, there is your job. There is your enterprise. There is your business. When you don't know each other and you don't know yourself, someone will fix you, and they will fix you for life. Change starts with you, and we cannot overcome badness or evil unless we are united under national efforts. We are now going to tackle the roots, and the roots will give us the fruits we need. Don't underrate the knowledge of the people who have made it in your community. Listen, men of God, I ask you to take leadership responsibly.